piracy. Who on earth was posting things at this time of night? There was a groaning creak from the unoiled hinges on their front gate. She sat up to peer out of the window. Leaving the garden was a figure so big it was going out of the gate sideways and still struggling to fit. The hulking form was holding a small black umbrella, which cast a shadow over its face. Emily pressed her nose to the window as the enormous shape squeezed out of the gate and strode off down the street with a hip-swaying walk, fancy brolly still held high. It wasn't even raining either. Weirdo. She was still staring when a familiar noise chimed up from downstairs. The light, metallic almost ring of a bell. Someone had come out of the living room and brushed past her dad's bike in the hall. He kept his big, black, bone-shaking bike there to ride to work at the post office. It was impossible to walk past it without the old brass bell dinging. More brassy notes sounded now as somebody else came into the hallway. Oh, God, what was she going to say if they came up to lecture her? It was a good time to be asleep again. She arranged herself into a very definitely asleep, possibly even comatose position, and waited. The sound of an urgent conversation drifted up from the hallway, but no one came up the stairs. She lasted a whole minute. Then, as a very curious person, desperately nosy according to her mum, she slid out of bed. She picked her way through the obstacle course of books and clothes on the floor and inched the door open. She crept out onto the landing, avoiding the creaky board, snuck her head round the top of the stairs, and peeked down. Her mum and dad were in the hallway below at the foot of the stairs by the front door. Her mum was sitting on the bottom step, wearing her long, thick coat and pulling on the big pair of spray-painted army boots she used for skip missions. Emily's dad was standing over her, frowning. He was holding a letter written on a sheet of thick cream-coloured paper. He had the envelope too, a heavy khaki-coloured thing with two big black old-fashioned stamps in the corner. This must be what Brolly Giant had posted. Double weirdo.
But it doesn't make any sense, Maeve. Who delivered this? It's not midnight yet, so it can't be from the night post.
He tapped the envelope with a stiff finger.
There's stamps on it, but no postmark. It's most irregular.
Her mum looked up and grinned. Oh, and doesn't that make it all the more fascinating? She still had a rich Irish accent despite living in London for Emily's whole life. Her dad redoubled his frown. He read from the letter.
I have been asked to write to you to tell you that Patrick of your clan finds himself in grave difficulties and would request your immediate assistance by the code of fealty.
Her mum pulled a full eaten-something-sour face.
Grave indeed. It's worrying about him what put great Auntie Aoife in hers. Everybody knows it.
She shook her head.
I'd best go and have a look. I'm the only one who can get any sense out of the Egypt anyway. But why ask you to come in? Surely the whole point is that you stay out. The man's a...
He waved his hands, lost for words.
Family's family, eh?
Her mum said with a shrug. Emily's ears were on fire. This was a red alert gossip alarm going off. Her mum never talked about her family. Ever. Emily had done so much nosing about it, and all she'd been able to get out of her was that they didn't get on. What was that supposed to mean? Her mum just wouldn't talk about it, though, which was unusual in itself, because she never normally shut up. Her dad held the letter to the light and squinted at it.
Just doesn't smell right. The wrong post, anonymous letter, Pat.
He said that last word like he was swearing.
Wanting you to go there after all these years.
He gave her what Emily recognised as his most serious stare.
Are you sure it's not something to do with her?
Who were they talking about? Emily was afire with curiosity and massive nosiness.
We saw the last of that wagon years ago,
said her mum, still bent over the complicated laces of her big boots.